Everton take the trip down to London Stadium to take on West Ham United in what some are branding El Sackico. It's Fat Frank Lampard versus David Moyes. Who will get sacked first? We're here to talk about West Ham versus Everton. It's live. It's the preview for West Ham United versus Everton. So joining me for the preview tonight, as you can see, firstly, Mr. Mike Hatcher, how are you?
Yeah, good, Jake. You?
Yeah. I've been better, but I'm all right. Gary, how are you, mate?
I'm fine, thanks. You?
Yeah, not bad at all. Right, where do we start then? I think we should start with our new arrival. Firstly, the paperwork was in time for once. West Ham have done something right. The paperwork was in time. It looks like our new striker, hopefully somebody that can score goals. Danny Ings, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about that. I think it's a decent signing. It's where we are at the moment. We need someone who can score goals. Yeah, the big question is whether he stays fit and whether he can get the service. That's the questions. But he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. And I know he might be 30, but I think it's as good as we can get at the moment, to be totally honest.
Oh, I agree.
So I'm not too upset about it. I think it's a decent signing.
Yeah, I think Mike's right there. He's almost the best we can do there, really, Gary.
I think it's an excellent signing, as Mike said, for the time and the money. It's not too bad. 12 million plus 3 million if we stay up. I think he's a proven goal scorer. I think 1 in 3. The big questions, Mike said. Well, big questions exactly as Mike says of fitness and service, because if he plays up front on his own, he'll have the same problem as Scamacca and Antonio, I'm afraid. So let's see what he does formation-wise.
Yeah. Would you expect him to be starting tomorrow? I mean, Moyes will have to.
I think 100% certain. I think 100% certain. I'll be amazed if he doesn't.
I would think that he's got no choice but to start him.
No.
To be totally honest, but knowing David Moyes like I do, I think. But I think it's not a gamble. It's a choice he's got to make. Full stop.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I think he's got to start. I think it'll be logical for him to start, but whether he does or not, that is a whole another story. Let's take some of your comments. Let's see who we've got in. Lawrence, hope you are well. Other Lawrence as well over in the USA. Hope you're well, mate. Gary, Peter, good evening, Jake, and everyone else in the chat room. Peter says Ekwon not gone to Sunderland yet, as he was playing for the under 21s tonight. So that's interesting. Give some of the under 23s a chance, says Lawrence there. Alison says, under Sullivan's ownership, we have now signed 53 strikers. 22 of them have never scored a goal for West Ham. Let's hope Ings is not the number 23. Yeah, I saw that stat on TalkSport. It's a bit laughable.
That's an unbelievable stat, that, isn't it? That is an unbelievable stat. 22 strikers have not scored a goal. I'm pretty sure that given the time, given the service, and if he stays fit,
he'll score goals,
Yes, he should get 10.
Yeah,
honestly, he should get 10, but that depends on all those things.
Definitely. Gary, we were up there at Wolves last week, and the less we say about it, the better. We've got to change it this week.
We have, and I hope he's done something different in training. I'd like to see him start with 2 up top tomorrow, Antonio and Ings. I think Scamacca's injured, so I'd play them both up front. And change midfield, for goodness sake. Thomas needs a rest. I hope he gets a rest. I'd bring in Flynn down, but that won't happen either. Yeah. Hopefully Zuma and Aguirre can make a partnership at the back, and then we've got a strong base to move forward. And if we play attacking and go for it and a bit of confidence, I think we can win the game.
Oh, definitely, I agree. Yeah, we've got to go into it and be a bit positive about it, because Everton are in crisis as much as we are, even worse than us, to be honest. If we're honest, Mike, they got people running down the streets after players wanting answers. They need the points, and so do we.
Very, very important to get on top and score a goal early in the game, because I can see then their fans would turn. If it's the other way around, then there's problems. But if we get on top of them early, and score a goal, then I can see, I can see their fans turning again on their board, and I think eventually, Lampard's going to come in for it as well from their fans if it carries on like this. I mean, he's escaped it so far, hasn't he? Really, he has sort of. He hasn't had too much criticism from the fans, but I can see it start happening.
Yeah.
We've got to be positive. We've got to be positive tomorrow. We've really got to be positive. We can't do our normal slow start and sit back and knock it sideways for 10 minutes. We've really got to go for them. We've really got to start positively.
Yeah, no, definitely. We can't do what we have done pretty much every single game so far this season and just, try and defend and maybe give it a go in the last 20. We're at home. We've got a bit of a boost bringing in a striker that we know can score goals. Let's, give the fans something to shout about tomorrow, because if it goes badly early on, then that place is going to turn incredibly toxic.
Yeah, I agree. So it's going to be a difficult atmosphere. Obviously, the David Gold thing to start with will put hopefully not too somber an atmosphere. We just need to get behind the lads for the first 10, 15 minutes and try to get them play a bit of energy, a bit of pace, a bit of belief. And just let's get some shots in. The other thing we were scared to do, like last week at Wolves, Jake, just knocking it around instead of shooting. He was scared to have a shot.
It was like
Pickford's a good keeper, but he's got a mistake in him. He quite often makes a mistake.
Yeah, and it's something you allude to there, Gary, because it was up our end last week, and there was about four or five opportunities we counted where they could have pulled the trigger, but no, we went one more pass. We're just too safe with it.
Yeah, exactly. We try and walk in and score the perfect goal. We're not good enough for that. We just need to get some shots in and do our best to score.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take some more of your comments. Ings will be fine. Long ball up to a midget. Moyes knows no other way. Jay says, imagine if Ings plays and gets a debut goal tomorrow. It sort of brings the mood up, and you hope it sort of brings the mood up around the fans, bringing in a Premier League proven striker. Hopefully that will help. Time will tell. It certainly will. Ings needs to start. Has about 7 goals against Everton. He scored his most amount of goals in his career against Everton.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the most amount of goals. 11. It's got to start. Peter said, Ings has something we have been lacking all season, and that is fight, desire, and quality up front, which we've been missing all season, Mike.
Definitely. There is no doubt about that. We've just been, there has been chances in games, but we just haven't taken them. And if we'd have taken them, then the confidence comes in, and then maybe we start having a few more cracks at goal. I mean, we haven't really put a team under pressure for a long period in a game at all season, I don't think. No. Because we've been on the back foot instead of the front foot. But we need to get on the front foot tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Peter says maybe both Lampard and Moyes will have a sack race at half-time. Maybe what they should do at half-time for the half-time entertainment, they should get them sacks like you have at Sports Day, and they should do the pitch in those sack things. What do they call it? Is it called a sack race? And they
it's called a sack race.
The whole way across. First one to the finish line keeps a job.
It's not been the same since they've done away with beat the Batak.
Oh, good.
Lawrence says, tired of talking about Moyes, he should already be sacked. James, sounds like your voice is broken at last. No, I've just had a bit of a cold this week, and my voice is diminishing before my very eyes. But Gary says, is Ings a Deutsch buy? They can't sack Moyes until after tomorrow because of respect for gold. Moyes was his man. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we're eyeing up a Sean Dyche. Who knows? Alison says, who will Moyes play in goal? Will he stick or twist? Well, it depends whether Ariola's fit. I'm not sure whether he is or not, but it would surprise me if it's not Fabianski, to be honest, boys.
He hasn't really let us down much, has he? He's made a couple of mistakes in games, but he's not really had a terrible game. I mean, you look at Loris, the mistakes he's made, and he keeps getting picked. I mean,
as you say, Mike, he's made a couple of mistakes, but he's not to blame for opposition, so I'd keep him in.
No, he's been steady, hasn't he? There's been a couple of games where you think, why didn't he come for that one, or why wasn't his kicking better there, or whatever. But he's also made some really good saves, and to be honest, he hasn't really let us down.
Yeah.
He let in 2 suspect goals at the near post at Chelsea and Arsenal. He should have done better with those.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's suspect. But,
I think you could put them down. You could put them down to him. Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, he's been okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Jay says, I read today Benitez is apparently coming in for us. There's been all this Benitez talk. I can't see it happening. We all got rather excited the other night and nothing really happened. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it, to be honest. I don't think that's Mandy and Peter both mentioned this. Under 21's 1-1 against United, which is very, very good indeed. In terms of Everton then, boys, Gary, I'll start with you. Don't know what sort of side is going to turn up. As we said earlier, they're in crisis. We just need to get on the front foot.
Yeah, we need to find some positivity, and this is where Declan's got to step in, and maybe Mark Noble if he's involved. We need to really go for it, because there's nothing to be gained at all from sitting quiet for 10 minutes, because it'll just give them a chance to grow in confidence, because they are probably, as you said earlier, Jake, they're in a worse position confidence-wise than us. They've lost 4 in a row at home against teams around. They lost to Forest and Saints at home. The players are getting ambushed on the way out. The board are frightened to attend games. They're in a bad way. So we've got to really use this opportunity. Hopefully the fans are behind us, and just go for it right from the first whistle. Yeah.
Mike, in terms of Everton, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like Gary just said, I think they're even worse than us at the moment. State, even though they've still got a lot of good players, to be fair.
Yeah.
They're a bit like us, that the players they've got, they shouldn't be down there in the league. No. They're just not putting it together. I mean, there's a few players. I think Gordon wanted off, didn't he, the other day, and he's had a bit of a funny head on him. I mean, it's not all great in the camp, is it? There.
No.
I mean, they're all talking about like Cody was a great buy for them, but I've seen him have a couple of poor games against us in the past when he was playing for Wolves. I remember Antonio and Lingard actually skinned him, for pace. I like him because he's an organizer, and he's good on the ball. He can pass the ball. He can make good passes out of the back. Positionally sense, great defender. Organises everything around him. But if you get someone with a bit of pace, you've only just got to knock the ball aside of him, and he's beaten every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I think when you look at their results, they're losing pretty much every week, and their fans are far from happy with it. If you look at their last few results, Southampton came back from behind to beat them last Saturday. Man United beating them, Brighton beating them. They got a draw against Man City back on New Year's Eve. Wolves beat them on Boxing Day. There's just a lot wrong there, and I mean, let's just say if we beat them, I mean, Gary, that proves that we're the 19th worst team in the league.
I think we're better than Wolves. I just think we just need a bit of luck. I think one thing I will say about Moyes this season, we haven't had a lot of luck. We've had a few things go against us that should have done, like goal at Chelsea, and just a few bits and pieces that haven't quite gone. We just need something to go in off someone's knee, or an own goal, or a Pickford mistake, and I think we'll be okay. Once the confidence comes back, our squad is very good. I think we just need a bit of organisation, a bit of man management, and we'll be okay.
That squad is good, Mike. But do you think it's a case of when we get that bit of confidence, maybe if we win back to back, dreaming there? Do you think that might slowly come and flow back the confidence or not?
Yeah, if they could get 2 wins in a row, I could see them. We could probably go, 5 or 6 games and pick up, 4 wins, and that would be plenty, to get them out of trouble and get their heads above water, and then play with less pressure. And once they start playing with less pressure, I think you would see, that those players are good enough, to be at least pushing the top 10 of the league, at least.
Yeah. I think I'll just add to that, Jake. I think if you think of our season as a whole, very disappointed. But nobody stuffed us. The only team that I really thought got on top was Arsenal. I thought they were much better than us. Other than that, I think we've been in every game. We've had a chance. Even at Wolves last week, we only one down. It just took one moment we could have equalised. We've been to Chelsea and did disgrace ourselves there. We should have got something at Anfield. We should have got something at Old Trafford.
We're
really truly shockingly bad. We're just not getting the results.
Yeah. Do you think now with the situation we've got now, so we've got this game and then we've got that sort of dreaded 3-game run where we've got Newcastle, Spurs, and Chelsea. That's not in order, but we've got those 3 games there. If we win, if we win tomorrow, do you think it's almost prolonging the inevitable and we maybe go and we don't pick up any points out of those 3 games? And then do we sack Moyes after that? It's a difficult one because even if we win tomorrow, we then go into them 3 games. And let's be honest, I won't expect us to pick up anything in those 3 games. Do we then sack him after that? Do we sack him in the middle? Do we sack him whatever happens tomorrow? What would you do, Mike?
Yeah, I would hope we can get something against Everton tomorrow, get a win against Everton. And then even if he picked up a couple of draws in those games, that would give him enough confidence to go on into the next home game after the Chelsea one is Notts Forest, I think. A game we can win again, To get out of trouble, you probably only need to win sort of 3 games out of 6, if you know what I mean. And you got, 9 points would get you up the league a fair way, I should imagine.
Yeah, I agree. 7 wins, but by the end of the season, we'll be safe.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, do you think we've just got, if we do lose tomorrow, would you like to see him go, Gary, in the, spite of looking forward to those games we've got?
99% of the fans want him to go, but the board have made it perfectly obvious they really don't want to sack him. They're giving him as much time as they can, and they're very reluctant to sack him. I think unless he loses tomorrow, then he'll still be the job. Even if we draw, I think they'll keep him.
Yeah. So obviously with Craig Dawson, of course, looking like he's going to leave the club with the medical being done today, I think we heard, and that seems to be all done. So he's not going to be playing. The one player who has come back, who was on the bench last week, was Kurt Zouma. Zouma and Agard, the partnership we've been waiting a long time for, and hopefully those 2 can both stay fit for a considerable amount of time, because I think they'll be the partnership going forward, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's our 2 best centre-backs. There's no doubt about it. And they haven't played together at all. I mean, it's, that's one thing you can say about Moyes is he hasn't had them 2 together. And that's the spine of your team, innit? The 2 centre-backs. Okay, we know we've had problems in the full-back areas. But I think Soufel's improved in recent games.
Agreed.
I'd say, he definitely deserves his place at the moment. The left back position is obviously the problem. We just need, we need someone to step up and, have a decent game at left back, whether it's Creswell, Emerson, Ben Johnson, who just seems to be right out of it at the moment. But one of them to have a decent game at left back and, have a solid performance from all the back 4. That will help. That will definitely help.
I just think overall what will give us a boost tomorrow is at 2:00 when we go onto Twitter, and if we don't see Creswell, Souček, Antonio, or maybe a 5 at the back, if we don't see those and maybe he goes out and he starts Emerson at left back, he starts Downs, he starts Ings up top, then that gives us a boost. Otherwise, if we see the same sort of things again, then it's expecting the same thing and not really changing it, and it's just going to be the same sort of outcome. And if he doesn't start Ings tomorrow, then it's just completely stupid to me, Gary.
I agree. I think he's got to start Ings. That's really making a rod for his own back if he doesn't start Ings. I think Souček, I don't know, for some reason he picks him every week, so I don't know who he'll play. I don't think he'll play Downs. He'll probably play Fornals or something maybe instead of Souček. I don't know. I see today he praised Ben Rama with one hand and then took the praise away with another, so I don't know what he'll do with Ben Rama tomorrow. He said, what did he say about Ben Rama today? He said he's got the best statistics of the club, but that's not saying much because we've been shit, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. Yeah.
What he said on that podcast I thought was interesting as well, because he said, I don't like to give players much credit. I prefer to tell them what they can do. And we're like, we know when you do that, Dave, and not the Souček and not the rest of them, because I don't like to give players credit where you haven't given Ben Rama a shade of credit for the last 2 years. But
no, so I don't know whether he'll play Ben Rama. I hope he does, because he's the only one that makes it look like it happen. I'll stick him on the left, put Fornals in the middle. Instead of Souček, play Paqueta and Rice in the middle as well. Bowen on the right. See how we get on.
Yeah. Of course, as well, we've heard over the last hour or so, you've reminded me, Dad, Jared Bowen has certainly been on fire in some aspects because they've just announced that Danny Dyer and Jared Bowen are having twins. So congratulations to them both. So
he scored there then.
Pardon? At least we know he's scoring in one sense because he flipping ain't on the pitch. But
that's two more than he's got this season. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Congratulations to them both. Mandy says if we play Kara, Zuma and a Gerd, we could play Bowen left wing back and Fornals right wing back. Oh, honestly. I'll tell you what, if I see Kara, I'm just gonna. I don't know about you two, but I just don't want to see Kara there. I really don't.
I don't see how he can get in the team, Jake, at the moment because his position is right back, and Sufel was keeping him out of there at the moment for sure. He can't play him left back again. He had an absolute screaming nightmare there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And
I think there's a footballer in there somewhere. I think it just needs to be a confidence and eliminate mistakes.
I agree with you, Gary, because I watched him play for Germany, and he was one of their better players. Honestly, and I thought, oh yeah, he looks like a player. This guy could do a good job for us, but he's just, I don't know, he's made a mistake every game, hasn't he?
He does, yeah.
It's just finding that player that we've seen in the games he's played for Germany, and I don't think it's the time to start experimenting with him in the current situation we're in, because we can't afford individual errors to go on top of the other errors that we're currently doing week in, week out. Peter makes a good point here. Downs is another one who is a fighter. We need fighters in this sort of game.
He is a fighter.
People that are going to stand up and not back down, and Downs is one of them.
Yeah, I'd play him, but Moyes made it clear it's not his signing. He don't like him, so
yeah,
that's unfortunate.
NWO says Moyes will play Ings right wing. If he's lucky, he'll probably put a centre half. If he's lucky, he might get a right
goalkeeper. Fully goal or something.
Maybe in goal, yeah. Fabianski will put his groin in the warm up. Danny, would you want to go in goal, mate? Yeah. Randolph sat on the bench. I haven't played for 5 years.
Yeah. Or he'll say that Ings needs time to adapt to the club, even though he's played every game for Villa this season. So.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
See that.
Yeah. He needs time to adapt to the Premier League, even though he's been playing in it for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, right, we are going to move on to some predictions then. I'm going to go first because I'm going to get the obvious one to make the life difficult for you two. 1-0 West Ham.
Jay, come on.
Well, I thought it was obvious, so I thought I'd get in there early. 1-0 West Ham. Danny Ings off the bench to score.
Now 2-1 then. 2-1 they'll have them, mate.
2-1, Gary.
2-1.
I was going to go 0-0, and I thought, do you know when the last 0-0 home game you had was in the Premier League? Have a guess.
When?
September 2018.
What's that? Who was
4.5 years ago. We haven't had 0-0 4.5 years, so I'm going to go for a 0-0.
Was that against Chelsea?
Yeah.
I was
Chelsea,
there,
I was there as well, yeah. I was there as well. That's the last time there.
They had a little spell where they were battering us for a while, and we got away.
Hazard played really well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But we were happy to hang on and get a 0-0. Yeah, I remember that one well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jake, I really hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I can just see two very scared teams going out not to lose, which unfortunately will be 0-0. I really hope I'm wrong. Really do.
Yeah, I think it's two sides that don't want to lose. I think a draw could be the inevitable result because it's a not lose game for both sides, even though they need to win it. It's as important winning it as it is not losing it, because two sides in incredibly powerless positions need something out of it. And the thing with it is as well is that you've got them there and they need points, we need points. You'd think it would be a bit of a, let's go for it, but I just can't see it. I really can't.
It's not in Moyes' nature. I really hope I'm wrong. Like I said, I'd love to be wrong and it's 4-0 or 4-3 or something, but I just can't see him doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hands up if you're going to Derby. Gary, mate, I'm going to come to your house because I'm just getting the mick taken out of me here.
I'm not going to Derby. Are you going to Derby, Mike, are you?
Yeah.
We'll have a big party at your house, Gary.
You're more than welcome, Jake. I should watch it on TV.
Yeah, on that massive TV, you can see everything there.
Exactly, yeah.
I've not been to the new ground, Gary, so I went to the baseball game many years ago. Yeah.
I took my wife there once on my birthday. I'm all heart.
That's a nice date, Gary. Nice and romantic.
Lovely day out in Derby, yeah.
Yeah. How about like,
where are we going?
The way
Derby away.
You know how to treat a girl, don't you, Gary?
So, Gary, where are we going today? Well, I think the Ritz. No, I don't go. Derby away, yes, please.
She's been to 2 away games, Derby and Stoke.
Stoke away. Christ. Done that once or twice. Stoke away. Yeah, there we go. Crosshammer High, Jake and all the youngsters are doing well. Currently 2-0 up before 20 minutes. Yeah, it's brilliant. West Ham winning 2-0, which is very good. They're storming off. They are the under 23s, more exciting than the men at the moment. Well, the first two.
Under 18s, top of the league, aren't they?
Incredible, aren't they?
Yeah.
Storming ahead. Right, your predictions 2-0 to the Hammer, 2-0 or 3-1 win. I like the positivity. First half will be 0-0. To you, to me, Chuckle Vision. Then
to you, to me, to you, to me.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. But yeah, there we go. Final thoughts then. Your name's Mark Noble. You're in that dressing room. He'll know how much it means to the fans and to everybody tomorrow, because it's a game that's incredibly important in what goes on for the rest of the season. That's what's last week. So what would you say if you were Mark Noble? Mike, I'll start with you.
Well, mate, this is just the biggest game of the season so far. You know, these fans out there deserve something. Give them something to shout about. Let's get them up off their feet, you know, and let's get some points today. And roll your sleeves up and give it absolutely everything you got. You know, it's do or die. We cannot lose this game. We don't need to draw it. We need to win it.
Yeah, I agree. Gary?
No, I agree, but we need to, push on these positives. We've got the best midfielder in England, Declan Rice. We've got Brazil's centre midfielder. You've got to give these guys confidence and say, look, attack them. If you attack, we can win this game. What I don't want to see, Jake and Mike, is passive play, sideways passing. People trying to take responsibility and ownership. Let's just go for it. Let's attack. If it falls down, it falls down. But let's attack. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Be positive.
If
Absolutely.
we're going to lose it positively, not on a win.
Exactly.
But there we go. Very important day for West Ham tomorrow. There'll be some content on the channel, build up, review, all of that sort of stuff. Hopefully it's not another ranting review, because I don't think my voice can take that. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and sticking with the voice that might not be here tomorrow. You never know. You have to tune in tomorrow to see whether I've still got it. Mike might be on his own tomorrow. You never know. Thank you very much, everybody. Gary and Mike, thank you very much as always.
Pleasure.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Thanks, everybody in the chat for us. Come on, you wine. And we'll catch you soon right here on West. I'm Unofficial. Thank you very much. Check out all the stuff on the channel, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.